Hello viewers, I'm Veronica from the Kamp. Today I have the privilege to have one-on-one with Dr. Charles O. Agyemang. I'll let him tell us a bit about himself. Doctor, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you today. My name is Charles Agyemang. I currently based at Amsterdam Medical Center. I work there as an assistant professor, and my main task is basically to look at how we can improve the health of the minority population. Minority population, that means a population that have moved from their own country and then living in a country such as Netherlands, like Ghanaian population, Surinamese population, Moroccan population, and other also the minorities such as also the white population who have moved from the US, Canada, England, and they are living in the Netherlands. And then you compare them with the Dutch white population and see where the differences are and whether we can help to sort of shed light on why that leads to such a differences to be able to improve their health.
So that's where Helius comes in.
Absolutely.
And I know most Ghanaians have been well informed and they've really participated in the Helius Study. What is the benefit of the Helius Study for Ghanaians in Amsterdam?
I think for the Helius Study, the benefit for that is far over and above what we Ghanaians here are receiving. I think one of the important things for any country is being able to get a very good information about the health of the population. And based on that, we use that information to basically help to make policies. Also, sometimes when you go to your doctor, for instance, they give you a medication. They will tell you that this medication works, this medication doesn't work. It all depends upon a type of study such as Helius. Basically what it does is they bring out information, and based on that information we can use it to help the Ghanaian community. And also for the Ghanaian community, I keep on repeating this because now the population is getting older, and that means that as we get old as well, the body begins to change, and that means that we need a lot of information.
I know the Ghanaians have really participated in this study, and most of us have also received our results, We've followed up to our house doctors, and what we realize now that some of the house doctors, they are not taking the results very seriously. Some refuse treatment for participants, and some doesn't do anything at all. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's a very, very good question. I think the reason why we do that is basically for the Helius. The idea is that when you get your results, you also send some of the results also to your doctor. So by the time you go there, the doctor is already know the results. Of course, if you go there, everybody assumes that when they go to their doctor, they expect to receive something, some medication. But I think what I would emphasize that if you go to your doctor and your doctor says that your results is okay, you don't need the medication, you should be saying, thank God, I don't need the medication in the first place. Your results, if you go there and of course you have a very clear guideline. For instance, if your blood pressure, you indicate that your blood pressure is about 140 to say 145. On average, it's slightly above the normal average. But that does not necessarily mean that as soon as you go to your doctor, you expect your doctor to give you the medication. So sometimes if you go there, your doctor will tell you, at this level, you really don't need medication, but we need to start doing a bit more sort of lifestyle changes, sort of eating healthily, doing more physical activity, to be able to help you. Because you also you have to realize that some of the medication comes with some side effects. Every medication has.
Now we really get very worried when there's something wrong. It has been indicated in the Helios results, and still your house doctor don't want to do anything about it. Can you seek for second opinion?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think if you that's what is the beauty about a country such as Netherlands. It's a free country. So if you go to your doctor and you feel that you are trying to and your doctor is not responding to your needs, you certainly do have the right to do so. But what I will emphasize though is that the fact that you receive the results and some of the results are slightly higher does not mean that it's automatic for treatment.
Okay.
I think the doctors there are very, very well trained. They follow a clear guidelines. So if you go there and your result doesn't fit in the guideline, then they don't have to. Because remember that they also have responsibility to make sure that whatever they do is in the line with what they've been trained to do.
Okay, so how do we control our blood pressure?
Well, the blood pressure, we know that is one of the biggest problems in the community. I mean, if you look at the Gaia study, was quite worrying, I must say. And I think that for many Ghanaians too, it's not surprising because many people know that they do have the condition. And many people are on medication in a way. So I think what I would say is that, of course, you can be on medication, but there are also several things that you can do yourself, which can help to basically reduce your blood pressure. And that has to do with, for instance, eating behavior. Salt, for instance. You know that if you are able to reduce your salt, sometimes it's equally effective as taking the medication itself. So salt on its own have a huge impact. And you also know that in a country such as the Netherlands, when you are in Ghana, it's freely people walk very short distances. But when people come to the Netherlands, sometimes even a short distance away, people want to take the car. So sometimes you have to change the way you do things here. And these little things, and if you are going to home, you look at the lift and then you look at the stairs. Please just don't take the lift, just take the stairs. Just little things can make a huge difference in controlling the blood pressure.
And you know, says some radio, Yaka Akoduan says Helius results no. So when Sakana Kona doctor say on ye bibria nebia on him say the who here some moment no say so ye bibi, right?
Yeah, this is correct.
Because if bibi o ma ya lamina obey take action. Say so when you're satisfied or so to me seek for second opinion. High blood pressure in ano. Ye did you and chene and the doctor dear ben. Ndiani bio say na wo hwa.
Bibi say ye ndidi no because one is Sadinam.
Sadinam ye na twinam
no ene a friend say chibom
no.
No sa neman intin anwa bebre no so no. Especially anwa because we fear anwa ye de ne kakra bi uchi nkuntumre na ye ba ubeduru asiya anwa ye fire de nse wurato na ye pule na sa. And this emwa.
What type of medicines do you have to take when you have your high blood pressure? And people can recommend that, maybe I have pressure, but this is what the doctor gave me and it worked.
I think the medication here, I think again here for every country, for the Netherlands, as I mentioned it earlier, there's a very, very clear guideline what type of medication each one person has to take. And also depends upon not only the blood pressure itself, but other coexisting conditions. So it's really, really determined. I mean, some people will go there and people will just give them, say, you take an Adlat or something like that, say 10 milligram, that should be okay.
And some people
exactly. And to say drone now, if I say Ubenyano, a be opposition no can say, nipa we say no, and say draw the man, and now say. In fact, say the kidney inside a juma papa, and I see the way can say be able to me. In some cases, you have sometimes you'll be always okay. We want only one medication, we want only two. So it all depends upon the stage of the condition and what other conditions are. And that's also, I think here I will make a very, very important point here. It's also, I know that many people in the end also tend to rely on other people for their medication.
Yeah.
So that's why the problem comes in. Because you've been prescribed based on your own characteristics. If you then go to another person and just say, I've also have a hypertension, just let me take it, then the danger is that you might have, a reaction to that because you have not been assessed in taking it. In the cholesterol, if you look at the arteries, the cholesterol is sort of what is sort of a fat within the arteries, and there are good ones. But so in a way, you do need a cholesterol. But the danger is that if it is over and above what is required, that is where the problem is. So, but for the African population in particular, what has traditionally is that, like if you go to Ghana, cholesterol level used to be very, very, very low.
Because of the sun?
Also because of our eating behavior, walking a lot, you don't have to, exactly. But when you come here, people just basically don't do much, work, eat, sleep, go back to, so basically, and then if you really look at the Guy study, the level of cholesterol, particularly in men, actually was very, very quite striking.
So how do you control it?
I think the cholesterol itself, just like all the cardiovascular risk factors, cholesterol itself, you can eat it by making sure that you watch what you are eating. For instance,
to eating.
Exactly, especially sort of red meat. It's good. I always say that you have to eat everything in moderation. I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat at all, but everything that you eat, it has to be in moderation. You have to watch what you are eating. You don't have to overeat. Things. Make sure that you do more physical activity. You make sure that stress is also one of the things that can also. And the way the stress works is that it can sometimes, if you are stressed, what then happens is that you tend to eat a lot.
You tend to something.
Exactly, because you want something to comfort you. So, and then it can make you, keep on eating and eating and eating and eating. And you know that for the Ghanaian population, stress, everybody knows stress. Stress from home, stress from... So, I think that, it is very, very important. I keep on stressing this, is that Ghanaians do very, very well. I mean, if you compare to many migrant populations, Ghanaians are one of the group that really, really contribute to their country, to their children, to that. It is good that we do that, but I think in the process of doing so, we also have to look after ourselves. Because if we don't and we drop dead, who is going to look after them?
Doctor, let's move on to diabetes. We say sugar level, sugar, cholesterol. What really is diabetes?
Well, I think you've just put it very nicely. The sugar. I mean, if you put it in simple terms, the body needs the sugar to be able to function. But oftentimes, the way the sugar functions, the body uses it, disrupts. And when it disrupts, then people end up having what you call the diabetes. And the diabetes, you have it two types. You have one which you call type 1 diabetes. Normally, type 1 diabetes is the diseases which you normally see young people actually having it. But the problem is not that, because you know that if you take the whole diabetes world together as one, the type 1 diabetes is just about 2 to 3%. The major part of it is what you call the type 2 diabetes.
That's more dangerous.
It's also very, very dangerous, but that one is very much related to lifestyle.
Okay.
The lifestyle part, again here, particularly the way we eat. So, and we also know that people that do not do more physical activity are also more likely to have physical activity. People that are more overweight is also develop the condition more so compared to those who are not. So diabetes that we are seeing is very, very much sort of the way the life changes. And for the minority population or the migrant population, because when you move from our country and come and stay in a country such as the Netherlands, what happens is that it's naturally our lifestyle changes. someone will tell you that, okay, I'm talking to the Ghanaian community, can use an example such as, you are making nkatinkwai. You know that you are the food, the same soup that you are making, but the way you've prepared it is completely different. You know, you put so much, either you put so much meat, you put so much oil, or you put so much things in it. So in that you think you are eating in Katinkwai, but you are eating Amsterdam Katinkwai, which is different from what you are eating back at home.
So the causes of diabetes is, it also has to do with our eating habits.
The eating habit is very, very important. The eating habit for that is really, really important, because basically what then happens is that what you are eating in there can make you, increase weight. Yeah? And also the danger is that if you're at home, for instance, if you eat, you go out and walk. You go out, go to friends and that. But here, usually you eat, you stay at home. And these type of little things can increase the diabetes. And also actually, it's not diabetes is not only for the migrant population. Yeah? We're also beginning to see that in Ghana, just take it for instance, in Ghana, before say 1990, if you take 100 people, you only have just about 2 people who have diabetes. Today, if you take 100 people, you are talking about, in some cases, you are talking about 15 of them. So it's increasing, and also because Ghana is changing. The eating behavior, especially in the people living in the urban centers, such as Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, on those places. Because things are changing. So then it also means that those that move from there to come to Amsterdam, your risk increases.
So can you control it without using medication?
Oh yes, I mean, of course, you sometimes when you get to a level that you might need something like insulin or some tablets to really try to control it. For the major part, for the diabetes, actually you can do a lot to prevent it from coming in the first place.
Okay.
And one of the factors again here you talk about is again watching your eating. Make sure that you do a lot of physical activity. Make sure that, again here stress, I keep on, because many things, Ghanaian community think that, stress is part. And it's true that stress can, on its own might not have the direct effect, but it might have an indirect effect. And the indirect effect that you are talking about is that it's pushing you to eat more, it's pushing you to be more isolation, it's pushing you not to go out to walk, so you just then get confined in your only small place, and then you're not doing anything. And that sort of increases your risk of developing that condition. And that's also the true for other cardiovascular diseases as well.
So if maybe in your family you have diabetes, do you also have a high risk of getting it?
It's a very good question. I think for diabetes, particularly for diabetes type 1, it's very much genetically driven. But for that type, but for type 2, the type 2 is a tricky one. There are some genetic factors are related to that. But what I would say is that majority of that is mainly down to, again, here, lifestyle. And usually what then happens is that if you sit in a family, and then, because in the family, especially here where in the Netherlands, where you have what you call the nuclear family, that means that all the families sit in the same home. And that means that whatever you put on the table, everybody eats that food. So if you have your mom have a diabetes because of what you are eating, then the children is also, the children also have a very high risk of developing that. But the danger is that if you don't take care, we think that, it is all in the genes, it's because it's genetic. But it might not be. It's all in what is on the table, what we are eating. So you have to get the balance right, otherwise we will deceive ourselves.
So you have to prevent it by changing your lifestyle.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
That is very interesting. So, you see exercise, you do any say you Dr. Agyemang, why he member of Nankasa de ya Kenya wa boneto boy in Kromukasem, Amayati, I see ye.
That's it. The person they can say, yet is a situation, of course. Do a if remote general. But in most cases, a free yendidium because who are doing any so no aduane fear and crown or movie or beer decided doing any be. And teenagers have fan said, aduane ye didn't war a busian a bit me in effect a war and crowning and this is because a idea homojamu, Nemo, and Yanocre, Nemo by the ADT away in fear, until this year, what is your bomb is your best now, yes, separate the two out. I'm going to say business because I think, a genetic, but it just near AD and a deba. Until the mess around and said, I see your boy at home, you're ADDMO. I feel so. What do you call it? I can't again. Physical activity. People say, 1999, sports. Sports. Because the whole fear near the idea, so what did he? Who call, Abusian for Unanti. I have to be drunk. Unya beam, say, shop no crowd next 2 step, opposite all the car. Echo. And moi, and Obianum so car, fine. We might drive all car weekends or something when you are going to long distances. But for modern hours of a day, over 1990, said the bay a bit me a buama on Puma because on Pumunya dinner. It is an intimate more brave. So, what Pumodia?
Well, Dr. Agyemang, what do you have to say to the youth who think Helius Study is all about the grown-ups?
No, I think this study is also for the youth. This is absolutely important that the youth participate in this because it's only that you'll be able to help them with the future generation. So I think it's very important that the youth take it seriously and they should participate as equally as the older people.
So what's your last word to our viewers?
Well, my last word I will say is that the study, the Helius Study, is a golden opportunity. And that everybody should take this golden opportunity to participate. So in order to help the Ghanaian community here in Amsterdam, in our children, as well as our, back in Ghana, because it can help us to know what is happening, to help, to make a better Ghana, as well as a better Ghanaian living in the Netherlands. Thank you.
Well, viewers, it's a golden opportunity. Thank you very much, Dr. Agyemang, for being with us.
Pleasure.
I hope you have lots of information and you are going to stay healthy. Thank you. See you next time on Veronica from the Kamp. Bye.